terms of the rhetoric that his quarterback can throw around. What do you think about the game plan for Stafford against this Seahawks defense tonight is going to be?
Well, Rich, I think it starts in the middle of the field. I talked in the open how in the first meeting, the Rams only had 249 total yards. In the second meeting, Matthew Stafford threw for 249 yards to the middle of the field. And so many of those targets are to this guy right here, Puka Nacua. Great throw up and over the top of the linebackers. A layered throw right there, and that play goes for 50 yards. Now they're going to come back, and they're going to put him on the outside, and you're going to see just the quick, what we call a wrap-in route. So many different ways in which they run it. Get it to him right there for a nice little 20-yard play. Now they put him in the number 2 spot, so they move him all over the place, but they love to attack his physicality and also Matthew Stafford's ability to throw down the middle of the field for another big chunk shot right there. And then we all remember the one in overtime that gave them the lead. Great job by Matthew Stafford to work Ernest Jones, the linebacker here, and throw it in the second window, and then Puka does the rest from there, taking it to the house. So that was the key in the second meeting for them to explode offensively. I believe that is going to be a huge key in this game again, Rich.
And we will see, obviously, later on tonight, who the Rams or the Seahawks will already know they're going to be playing against in Super Bowl 60. That's Kurt Warner, who's calling this game on Westwood One. Steve Weiss, take it away in the AFC Championship game latest, if you will.
Well, Brits, the Broncos defensive players said they don't have to do anything extra special to protect backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham making his first start. They have confidence in Stidham. The focus this week has been cleaning up some leaks that sprang up in last week's win against Buffalo and to disrupt the operational timing of the Patriots offense. Safety Talanoa Hufanga, he told me that they have got to find ways to manage the running backs for the Patriots because he feels both of them are good in the run and passing games, and they've got to get the Patriots off the field on third down. The key is to get the Patriots in passing situations because Denver feels they've got some advantages up front, especially on the edge with sack specialist Nick Bonito. Rich?
Steve, well, the Denver defense took the ball away 5 times against the Bills. That's the good. The bad, the Bills still scored 30 and darn near won the football game and could have. Meanwhile, in New England, Drake May coughed it up. Again, he's fumbled 6 times in the last 2 playoff games, losing 3. That's the bad news. The good news is he still's dropping dimes and throwing darts, and they're winning anyway. Of course, he's talking about better ball protection. Why not?
Yeah, I think just work on in practice. Just have a, be mindful back there and just know that, my job is to protect the football. And that's, every game. And I think, one of the biggest things with, the guys up front is my job to have a timer in my head.
Okay, timer in his head. All right, Gerald McCoy, let's talk about Drake May and his fumbles and his interceptions and his turnovers. How does he limit that today?
Well, he's got to be decisive. Indecision is where mistakes start to happen as a quarterback. Just commit to whatever you're going to do. If you're going to pass, pass. If you're going to run, run. But you can't be unsure because unsure passes, they turn into interceptions. When you're unsure about whether I'm going to run, I don't know, I'm going to run, and then you take off running, that's where you get Josh Allen. If you're looking at the coverage and you're just not sure, I'm just not sure, and then that's where you get C.J. Stroud or you get hit in the face with the ball. Just be sure and decisive about everything you're going to do, and he'll limit a lot of these mistakes.
Yeah, because they are coming, and I'm sure one of the things that the coaches are doing, because he's got to have, you got to take care of the ball in the pocket a little bit better, right? And so there are drills that quarterbacks do, Gerald, going back in the pocket with 2 hands on the ball, not 1 hand on the ball or not casual, 2 hands on the ball strong, and he's got to, maybe you take bags and you hit him and you drill that kind of thing like you do in training camp, because he's got to, sometimes he's a little casual back here. And what do the defensive guys do? They try to hit this arm, the passing arm, and there goes the ball. So he's got to be here. The other thing is he's got to have better pocket awareness where he can slide away from traffic. These guys are coming. You got to avoid and reset and be good at that. Just the fundamentals of pocket presence, and then make those decisions and then let her rip. He's a heck of a player, but if he cleans that up, they can go win the Super Bowl. But that's the thing. They got to take better care of the football. Starts with the quarterback.
I was always taught the ball is the program. Take care of the football, young man.
Like it's your first one. Rich. Rich, take it away.
You are one moonwalk away from going full Caliendo there, Steve.
Are a family mob because of how we treat each other. Coach Vrabel makes sure that we know every player and every person in the building like they're our brother, and so we fight for each other like brothers, not teammates. Pop also told me Vrabel's best skill is his care and his heart. He told me the story of earlier this year. Pop's uncle died, and Vrabel allowed him to skip Saturday walkthrough to go to the funeral. And not only that, he set up transportation for him to get back to Tampa before the game. So we'll see Vrabel's on-field effect. But players know they're here on the verge of the Super Bowl because of Vrabel today. Rich?
Cam, last two teams this century to allow fewer than 20 points and 500 yards in the wild card and divisional rounds. Not only both made the Super Bowl, but the 2000 Ravens and the 2006 went on to win the entire enchilada. And that's how we welcome Kurt Warner back in from Seattle and have our friend Gerald McCoy right here. What's the reason for the Patriots' defensive turnaround?
You know what? Last week I talked about guys, having guys, and the Patriots went out and got a guy in Milton Williams. He was out for 5 games, but he came back week 18, and let me show you what he's done since then. This whole defense has turned around because of him. He's isolated on the left guard. This is man on man, bone on bone. I'm stronger, I win this rep. So when you got a guy, you want to isolate him. So we got a mug rush here. Mug, you walk the linebacker down, keep the attention of the left guard, but Milton is one-on-one with the center. He knows he's going to overslide, so he crosses his face. But the guard, his attention is on the backer. Milton wins one-on-one. Now he's on the quarterback. Of course we got to stop the run. How do you do that? Play on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage. Get upfield, dive on the ground. I'm a better athlete. Go make a play. Since Milton Williams has been back, this defense has skyrocketed, and he is the reason that this whole thing has turned around.
Well, Gerald, I know when you talk about guys, you're often talking about those guys up front, but I think they've added a bunch of guys that have been impactful for this defense, from Williams to Landry to Chason up front. Robert Spillane, their leading tackler, they brought over. How about Carlton Davis? They brought him over as well. He had 2 interceptions last week. And so much of this turnaround has been bringing in the right kind of guys and the guys that fit the system, and then Mike Vrabel and company building a defense around those guys and their skill set. It has been fun to watch the transformation of this football team. You know, guys making a name for themselves, but this collective unit coming together and playing really, really good football.
This wide open, anything can happen NFL postseason mirrors the coaching carousel and vice versa. Is it possible next year, when the Steelers face the Bills, if that happens, it'll be Mike McCarthy and Phillip Rivers matching wits as the head coaches?
I know.
One of them's already in the books. What about Philly Riv in Western New York? The insiders joining us.
NFL Game Day Morning is brought to you by Verizon, the best 5G network in America. There's only one best.